So welcome and welcome, welcome, welcome to the Temple Classroom for Initiates. And this one's a very special one because obviously it's the 27th of November. And I know a lot of you guys, most of my tribe, you're all in the States. I need to move over there. It's much better. I tell you, I need to come out, hang out with you guys. So yes, today's a very special day because of course you guys are holding it down for the thanks and the gratitude, which is actually very, very much in alignment with kind of where we are at the end of this year as we move into the final weeks of what has been a most tremendous transformative year. And I've been talking to a lot of you. There's new things coming in the pipeline. We're discovering new gifts. We're kind of saying, right, I'm going off in that direction. Debbie, you and I have had a conversation. I mean, it's all the same. We're all just feeling like the breath of this new air. So as always, I'm going to do my little energy update thing, but I just wanted to kind of say that this class is all about the principle of mentalism. Now, those that joined me a while ago, and we actually did 7 of the principles all in one sitting, I nearly had a nosebleed. In fact, were you there, Debbie? That was CrossFit on steroids. And we got through it. We did it. But it was after that, I think I slept for about 3 days and everybody kind of felt the same. But the reason I've called this one the Principle of Mentalism is because it's a great place to start because, yes, we all went straight to bed after that. The Principle of Mentalism is the master key. It's the skeleton key to all of the other principles. So I just thought, well, you know what? If you can't understand that one, then you can't move on to the other principles. So this one is dedicated to that. It's a great place to start. And I know a lot of you are reading the Kabbalion and we're kind of going back to the Hermetic teachings. And so, there is a lot of like home study that you can do off your own speed. But I would really like to open the door and kind of bring a really, really deep depth of understanding in your energy being on what the principle of mentalism is all about. And to be honest, the other 6 principles actually feed into that anyway. They're all very, very, very similar. Okay. So welcome you all to the class. Okay. I'm just going to mute. Okay. Everybody muted. Right. Okay. So I'm going to happy Thanksgiving to everybody because that's the biggest umbrella and portal opening for this class. So we're definitely running with that. Saturn goes direct today as well. Okay. So I'm Aquarius. It's quite intense. Feeling the change, but I'm here for it. And we have the completion codes because it's 2025 year is a 9-year. And as we know, we're coming into the closure of this. Now, I've said it in my other videos. This is where we get it a little bit twisted. And I'm going to be talking all the way through that we must just slow our rows a little bit because everybody gets just like a little bit disappointed on January the 1st because we wake up thinking that we should be like, oh, we should be an X-Man by now. But we have no change in the years with the Chinese horoscope until the 17th of February. Now, as we move into January, most planets move in to Aquarius. New age of Aquarius is landing. So it's going to be a process as we shift from the year of the snake to the year of the horse. So there is like a little bit of a closing off on 2025. Absolutely. And then we're going to take our gentle trot going into a canter, get into February, and then we start galloping. So on like popcorn, right? So just a couple of a few announcements, actually, because there's a lot changing from my end as to how I'm showing up in the world. I am definitely a living, breathing example of restructuring. And that is definitely because of the Hermetic principles I work with, definitely because sacred architecture, we're birthing a brand new system and structure. The divine masculine is coming online in a big way. So the Temple Classroom after December will be only found on the newsletter. All offerings, all announcements, anything to do with that is all going to be found on the newsletter, which is no problem for you guys because you signed up for the Temple Classroom. So you're automatically on that list anyway. So I'm going to be doing it in a private link, which you guys are all going to have access to. And it just feels more sort of like more of a held vessel in that way. I think it feels better. It feels more aligned. Also, as well, I have a very special announcement. Marie's having a baby. I'm not pregnant, but I kind of am spiritually. Okay. You all went, oh, she's 50. No, I'm definitely not having any more real kids, but I am birthing a baby on January the 18th. So we are going to be moving into the Hecker codes, the groups. Haven't done the groups for a very, very long time. And we have changed so much since I've last done a Hecker codes group. This is definitely by order of Thoth. It kind of almost dragged me into the creation of this course. And it's going to be January the 18th, which is the the new moon. Thoth likes to work his timing on the new moon. And we're going to go through, that's a Sunday, which is wonderful for everyone. That is the entry system. It's a great place to start. It will have a little bit of a Hermetic Principle vibe to it, but it'll be really, really working as a group to kick off the year, anchor our sacred architecture with a deep understanding. Group work is completely different as well with the Hecker code. So 3 Sundays, and those announcements are going to come very soon. And then that will lead into a much bigger course, which will be a couple of months long, which will be the Hermetic Principles Gospel of Marie. Now, during this time, as I'm building all these bridges, of course, we have the Sekhmet pilgrimage as well. And of course, Avalon, but that's later on that in the year. So let's just slow our road to the first half of the year. And we are going to be moving in to some very, very deep work as we go to Egypt, and we're going to be walking with Thoth and Sekhmet, and we're going to be really, really like embodying everything that we've remembered. Because remember, the Hermetic principles you've been teaching by these, once you start going through them, you go, well, I've been doing this for ages. It's in you, it's in your DNA. My work is all about handing the power back into your memory, like awakening you, because this isn't a Marie teaching. This is all of the Hermetic teachings, the ancient alchemical teachings. You just need to like jolt memory. So you're going to be quite surprised how quickly you gather speed when I start sharing these teachings, especially if you come to Egypt, because I'm going to be teaching the Hermetic principles on the land, in the temples. And after that, it's a done deal, because the way I see all of this is like I just think that teaching classes is going to be a thing of the past. By 2026, 2027, well, we've all kind of remembered. So what do we need to learn? Nothing. We just then show up, and the whole gig of going to these gatherings are going to mean something different. It's going to be dancing, it's going to be bonfires, it's going to be celebration. What happens when you know enough, right? Because then all of a sudden you're shifting from being in this victim mode consciousness student, and now you're coming from that and coming into the master student. And what I mean by that is, we will always, a true teacher is a student simultaneously as she is a teacher and a student at the same time. You know, I'm constantly on this side and this side and this side. And that's all of us. So, you know, that's kind of how we're rolling. So we're just going to have this memory recall. And then as of next year, 2027 and beyond, this gig's going to be completely different, completely different. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce the beings that's going to be working with us by honoring them and really creating space. Now, I know this is the Thoth and those principles and everything like that, but we're going to start with Sekhmet, because Sekhmet is obviously, she's fire. And then we have Thoth, which is form. So, you know, it's fire into form. And then we have Osiris, who's been visiting me ever such a lot. And that is about resurrection. So it's from fire into form, Osiris bringing resurrection, because we're going to live life now. We're going to live life, right? So that's where, again, a sacred shrine of these three beings are going to be walking us through it today. So I'm going to get into kind of like their medicine a bit more as we go into it, right? Now, I want to, first of all, take us into a grounding meditation, and then I'm going to share with you some very, very powerful medicine that has happened. And as I've always shared with you guys before, what goes on with me goes on with you. I've put it in the grid, you've sucked it up through your straw, vice versa. So we're just like sharing from the same cauldron right now. So I'm going to share with you a massive turn in the waters that was gifted to me by Sekhmet. But first of all, we're going to ground into the group, into this space, and we're going to just really, really come into our center so we can really open this portal. So I invite you to just get yourself comfortable, a nice straight spine. Okay, nice, comfortable, no legs crossed, no hands crossed. And we're going to take in a nice big deep breath. So we're going to breathe in right from the root chakra. Inhale, hold it at the top, and exhale. Let it all out. And now another big breath like that. Inhale. Really fill the lungs as much as you can. Hold it at the top. And exhale. And then one more like this. Make it your biggest one, drawing the energy and the life force up. Inhale. Hold. And breathe out. And allow your being to arrive in the same place as where your hue man is. Hue being divine, man being your physical or woman. And just allowing your energy to come settling into the physical space, but also moving deeply into your heart space as well. allowing the two versions of you, your ancient being and the physical one, to come into this one unified place. And as you feel yourself breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, you feel a sense of peace and presence, but also a very, very subtle hum of electricity around you. For there is much change taking place in the world as a result of you. There is chaos out there. We know that. But we work with chaos and play with chaos like it's a cat and a mouse. It's fun. So we don't relate to the world through fear. We relate to the world through love. We don't relate through chaos as a frightening thing. We relate to it as an opportunity to create, to reflect ourselves and become the balance. As above, so below. So within, so without. And as you feel your physical body tingling through the presence of the inner being within, start to breathe into your heart now. Inhale. And as you exhale, you ground more deeply into your body. And I want you to now visualize, as we connect with Gaia, visualize a cord now forming in your heart like a ball of golden energy. As we inhale, we ignite it. And as we exhale, we activate that cord to now make its way all the way down through your solar plexus, your sacral chakra, your root chakra. Feel it pierce out the bottom of your body, going through the layers of the dirt, of the rocks. Allow this golden cord to instinctively, intuitively find its way back to mother. And allowing your cord as it just gently moves through the layers, the crystal beds, the rivers. And you will know when you connect with Gaia, because there'll be a little tingle, like a little pop. And I just felt it there. And she has lovingly taken your cord and she has plugged it deeply into her own heart. And you feel that electricity ignite a little bit more than before. And she always gives it a little bit of a tug just to make sure that there's no slack. And you feel that further grounding into your physical body and a deep sense of love from the mother as you feel very much secure. No different to a newborn baby being wrapped up in its arms tucked in. They love that feeling of safety. She does the same for us by pulling on the cord. So feeling safe, secure, connected to mother. You take a breath in, as does she. And as you exhale, you feel the exchange of energies and you feel very much grounded and connected in this earth plane. For this is in truth where the party is at. So where else would you be? And now you felt that connection. You take a healthy breath into the heart. Inhale for nothing. Inhale and exhale. And now another little ball of energy forms in the heart. And you know where this cord is now going. Inhale and exhale. The ball of energy now turns into a cord. It makes its way up through your throat. Your third eye pierces out your crown. And it literally floats all the way up through the layers, through the sky, the clouds, makes its way all the way deep into the cosmos. And there is a special star that your cord, well, you actually loves and connects with. It's always a place that you go to. Probably your most recent home before you came to this incarnation. And you feel that connection, like a little fizz and a pop. And you almost feel like there's starlight trickling down upon you. And in your mind's eye, you look up to the cosmos and they're twinkling and dancing in celebration of you as you are down on the earth plane. Once again, as above, so below, so within, so without. And as you feel that connection to the cosmos, you may feel an opening of your crown chakra, and that's okay. For they're sending codes, they're sending love, they're sending so much light, cosmic light, down through the cord. And it's a different feeling to what you feel to Gaia, isn't it? It's very different. And you allow that starlight to move its way up and down that cord, really establishing that connection. And then now really feeling that connection as you place your hands on your heart. So now there you are, as above, so below, cosmos and Gaia. Now I call on you to draw in your breath from the cosmos and from Gaia at the same time. Inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale and give thanks to something in your life as you breathe out. Name it. And you're going to do the same, gratitude and thanks. It is Thanksgiving. Inhale, bring in the energy, Gaia and the cosmos in the heart. Who do you send this heart breath out to? Breathing out, sending it out into the world. They will receive it, where they will receive it. And now one more thanks breath. As above, so below. Draw it all the way into your heart, into your being, holding it there. And as you exhale, you allow that breath to find where you wish it to go. And as you allow your senses to come true now, you open your mind's eye and you didn't realize that you stood in the center of the holy trine, the sacred trine. To your left is Sekhmet. To your right is Thoth. And behind you, who's always got your back, is Lord Osiris. You feel the balance of this beautiful trio as you are the center point. You are the point, that critical point of activation as you stand between these powerful beings. Sekhmet makes herself known as she shoots you a beautiful, flashing, flame eye look. You feel that heart pop because you're old friends. And she lets out a really loving growl, just letting her presence be known. And she holds her palm out and there is a flame that ignites in her hand. I think she's just playing with you and showing off a little bit of what she could do with her flames, but she's Sekhmet, absolutely. She's a bit playful for today, and I like that. I like that in her. And then you turn your energy to Thoth, who presents himself in the most original form of the sacred ibis, a beautiful bird native to Africa. But he is the sacred ibis, this beautiful long beak. And he's in all his beautiful robes. He's exactly traditionally as you always know him. And he stands there glistening gold. And he just bows his head as if he's greeting master to master, because he is. You are a master. And then you turn to face the presence behind you, the one that you feel deeply within your being, the energy of Osiris that you feel coming through you right now, in this now moment in 2025, the rising of the divine masculine. You turn to Osiris and you bow your head, and he telepathically speaks to you and says, yes, dear child, you have finally arrived once again back into my paradise realms, for I am the God of paradise, and you are back in that Garden of Eden. And you know it. We've said it before and you wish it, but you know it. And there is a deep sense of safety, also a deep sense of respect as well. And you just are in awe of these three beings. And they will walk with you through today's class and beyond. So now taking a nice big deep breath into this scene. Inhale. And as you exhale, you send a heart breath out to all three of them. Exhale. And they feel that. And you feel them inside of you as well. That's the important thing, because you've worked tremendously. They know this. You've embodied their frequency time and time again. You've gone through the layers. They are within you. There is that oneness wisdom that you definitely feel now. Feeling grounded, feeling surrounded, and feeling blessed and extremely grateful. For this is Thanksgiving. And we give much thanks and gratitude. And we also receive that love from Source. So when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Well, that was nice, wasn't it? Okay, I'm going to go now. That was enough. That was really nice. Okay. So now we've grounded and we've come into this place. I want to share with you something that is deeply profound. We've all walked this earth many times before. We are not strangers to massive, miraculous happenings. And it's never gets old though when it happens though, does it? Do you know what I mean? It never gets old. Big things have happened to us, and when another big thing happens, we kind of go, wow, like it was the first time. And I have one of those situations. Now on my previous videos, you can see here, this is my Sekhmet altar. I have another altar there. There's another one over there. I have a lot in here. It's a little bit of an intense office to work in, but she's always got my back over there. Now, if you can see there's a little white splodge there, that is a massive pile of wet wax, okay? I'm going to tell you the story, all right? Now, Coccyx pain has been a big conversation that I've been talking about. Now, for those of you that want to know more about that, if you just refer to the latest videos, I speak about Lemuria, Atlantis, how we lost connection to our body. So if we plus Lemuria and Atlantis, because we've been correcting those frequencies in our being in this life, Lemuria plus Atlantis equals New Earth. You are New Earth. We will not fail. Why? Because we've got the memo to come into our bodies. That's why so many of us have been really, really feeling this coccyx pain. Not everybody, but let's face it, we all struggle with truly, I mean, truly being plugged into Gaia, talking about that she is our nourishment, she is our source. That's what we've always struggled with. So I've had this incredible coccyx pain to the point I can't sit. I have to get helped out of my chair. I'm still sitting on it, and I got that. Okay. I feel like I'm 90 years old. Is this before my time? I feel like my old self is dying. I'm actually living out to be 90, and tomorrow I'll be one again. So anyway, it's been very, very painful in the physical body. And I know many other people have been experiencing this pain. Now, the reason being is because we've now going beyond as far as we've ever gone before. Okay. So this is the thing. This is why it's so painful, because imagine that, lost our connection, Lemuria, lost our connection, Atlantis. Now in this life, we're really going there. So anyway, go back to the altar. So now I have many candles I burn all day, every day. Okay. We all do, right? Leave the office, blow them all out. One night, 2 nights ago, I didn't. I forgot. And I was home alone. So there was nobody to come and blow my candles out after me. I woke up in the morning and I walked in and I was like, oh my God, my altar did not set on fire, but it was, and what was interesting is it wasn't on a dish like this, it was flat. So it could have very easily burnt the house out because it would have just spilled everywhere. So my Sekhmet altar burnt all night. All of the wax fell. And when I saw it on the ground, I thought, oh, this means something really significant. I sat with her. I spoke to her. She said that we must understand and know that even at rest, our fires and our flames and our magic are still going. Now, this is as a result of me really working deeply with the Hermetic principles. This is as a result of really working deeply with Heka and the alchemy, because that's where the magic truly is. So I had been sitting in that altar, praying every day, working with these Hermetic principles and really shifting energy along. So what actually happened is when I lay sleeping in my bed and I got up, I didn't realize there was this massive shift. Now listen, I can't get out of bed easily. It's agonizing. For the first time in months, I don't have any coccyx pain. Since that altar burnt down, I'm like, right, Miriam? I was like, what? I know. I don't even know why I'm sitting on this cushion. I've just bonded with it, I think. I just can't not. I'm just used to it. So I can't believe it. And I sat there outside going, what the fuck? No ways. And I kept jumping up and down going, is it really gone though? Has it though? Because you always go into this doubt, don't you? You know what I mean? And she was like, stop it. It's done. So I was like, okay. And I shit you not, I have absolutely no pain. Now, today I sat in meditation with it because I had to rebuild the altar because that's done. I have been so sick today through processing this. And I didn't know whether I was going to make class because I was that sick. And I was like, I got to get there. Anyway, I've rebuilt the altar. And as soon as I did, the energy lifted. So my point of sharing this with you is what we do for all, right? Because we're all mind, okay? We're all part of the same origin source, okay? This is the principle of mentalism. So what I've got into up there, and I've almost bust this through my being. I've done it for all of us. And I now know that all of you with all of your pains are doing the same. We're all popping like popcorn. So that's my contribution into the thing. You guys are going to have different things. It could be getting rid of really toxic relationships. It could be overcoming your fear to do with wealth and everything like that. It can come in a million ways. Mine was very physical. My experiences and initiations are very physical, but I am absolutely blown away that for 3-4 months, I haven't been able to walk, stand, lie down in bed, whatever, and now it's gone after that burnt out. And that is the power of Sekhmet. So now what are we talking about here? Brand new architecture. Architecture is crumbling, and now there's a brand new sacred architecture coming through. So now the principle of mentalism, what I'm going to share with you today. Now, I know a lot of you have already studied the principles, but I'm going to give it you Gospel of Marie style, right? And what I know to be true. And then I'm going to leave you with a little bit of task and homework to deep dive into your own studies, because that's what I've been doing, right? So now, What is the Hermetic? So Hermetics, first of all, is basically there's all of you. It's all of you. You're all Hermetic teachers. We all are. We're unplugging from New Age spirituality. That's done. These teachings don't live there. Okay. New Age spirituality is just it's just play. You know what I mean? It's just fluffy, it's floofy. And I think that what's happened is that sacred architecture has collapsed, like everything in your life. Relationships, your own belief systems, right? Any kind of like groups or whatever. If there's anything that's shady, it's collapsing. Why is it collapsing out there? Because it's collapsing in here. Because you've decided now, after all these layers of just being buried and those dark nights of the soul, we just chipped away, chipped away. I actually wrote in my blog today or the other day that I said it's like digging a hole with a teaspoon and just trying to like hope that you can get to the light. And why did we not stop? Anybody would say, I've broken all my nails now. I'm bleeding. This is exhausting. I'm doing this with a teaspoon. Why didn't we stop? Anybody else would have said, fuck this, I'm out. Do you know what I mean? Hey, Lindsay. so, so like, but we kept on going. So what is that? That's your inner being going, keep on going because you were chipping away. So your Hermetic principles, your Hermetic teachings, what is stored in your DNA was the light busting through. That was what it was. And that is what's kept us going. It's the truth. That's what's kept us going. It's the truth. We've kind of gone here, there, and everywhere. We've looked at certain teachings. Some of it lands, some of it doesn't quite itch the scratch. And now we're actually at the Hermetic teachings and we've been given the power back in our hands where nobody gets interrupted between you and the all mind. That's the difference, right? When you're sat with a teacher and they're talking about this therapy and that therapy and yada, 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 that like you're just taking on their opinion. Right? You know what I mean? There's nothing quite actually going into your own channel, plugging right in and having your own answers, and that's the difference. Now, it's a process we all go through because I know I went through all of that. But where I am right now, the balloon pop moment is you kind of saying, yeah, I'm passionate about that subject, so I'm going to go and study it. That's a different story. But if you feel that you don't know enough and you're going to go and study that course so you can be ready to get out there and share your stuff, that's a big no-no because you don't need to. You don't need to. In fact, you need to know thyself before you go out there and then you add to the cauldron mix, right? And that's what my teaching is all about. I have been kicked out of so many groups because it's just like I'm either having too much fun, I talk too much, I'm too loud. Yeah. I've two ayahuasca groups. I was like told to shut up, and I was like, oh, that's so rude. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just having fun. So we go through all of these places because we are truth seekers, right? And we shine light on places that don't have joy, don't like a sweat in the small stuff too much. And that's our journey. But where we arrive at now is Osiris's paradise island, his whole, we're in the garden, right? So that's your sacred architecture. From where you go from now on in, I would really love it if you just dived right into the Hermetic principles, experience what I've just experienced, maybe not have the wax on the floor because I'm totally going to lose my deposit for this house. It's fine. Do you know what I mean? But you get the gist, right? So it's science, philosophy, metaphysics. Okay. It's also secret. It went from the lips to the ears. That is what the Hermetic teachings were all about. It was all very occult. And I have to say, Aleister Crowley and teachers like that, I feel that there was a timeline, especially in Avalon, that got kind of quite dark and a bit shady. And I kind of don't know whether I vibe with that, but I like to go to Thoth teaching, Hermes. He's also known as Idris. It's like go back to the origin source codes and hit that timeline where it resonates with you. Because I think Aleister Crowley and all of those teachers, I just feel that there was in the early 1900s, it got a little bit dark and funny. And I don't quite know who was the light and who wasn't. So that's just me personally, But if we go even further back, right, we then really tap into the Hermetics. There's so many books out there. Even the Kabbalion, the Three Initiates, is actually quite a modern writing of it. You go back further than that, we probably wouldn't be able to understand it. It's probably why that book's there. But you go back as far as you can, right? So now, why now? Why are we now all of a sudden kind of going, right, okay, Hermetic principles, really identifying with them? Because it's the great reveal. Because that whole teaspoon analogy, chip, 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 taking the layers off, you are now here claiming your divinity. This was always the plan for you to truly believe that you are the all mind. Okay. The all mind is higher than the universes and the multiverses. That's the original essence of you. If you plug in there, there is nothing. There is nothing. There's no point in plugging in here. Plug in there. Now, the secret, as in the teachings of the secret, and I'm not dogging people's work. I'm not digging anybody out here, but I'm being very factual, okay? The issue with the secret and the manifestation of that was the actual teachings were like of a pyramid, if you like, and she only took it halfway up. People got overly obsessed with cars, money, wanting to get the perfect body. It was all very materialistic. And of course, their all mind will not grant that. So, of course, many people failed. James F. Twyman wrote the Moses Code. I cannot recommend that book enough. Absolutely brilliant. Him and a lot of big known teachers in the States had to kind of redeem the damage that the secret did because everybody lost their faith in manifesting. It pushed us back. But with the Moses Code, it speaks about going into the I am presence. So if you're in the I am presence, there's nothing higher than that. There's nothing purer than that. There's nothing more divine than that. So when you go up there and you're at the top of the pyramid, guess what? You get money anyway. It's part of it. But you don't focus halfway down. You go up to the origin source codes. And that is why when I teach and I share all my teachings to do with, the gods and goddesses, I'm like, take it right up to the stars. Go beyond Egypt. Listen, love Sekhmet dearly, love all of my deities. But, I kind of pick what's good on the earth plane. God, there's so much family drama with Isis and Osiris. I mean, that's like a whole Jerry Springer. You know what I mean? So I would prefer to have a chat with them when they're up there because everybody was sleeping with everybody and having babies by brothers. And it's just a bit weird. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, go back to the original essence of every single deity and being that you work with because they'll be up in the all mind. That is before it's gone through the hands of humanity and been like broken telephone, right? So now, you are moving away from New Age spirituality and you're moving into truth, into your own divine power. Now, I have something I want to share with you that I channeled from Thoth. I was actually doing my Hermetic Principles little journal in the morning and he jumped in. So I just invite you to just now close your eyes and just receive this because there's a lovely message from him and it needs to be spoken about before we kind of deep dive. So this is a message from Thoth on his Hermetic teachings. You will start to become aware that when you immerse yourself into the Hermetic principles, there is a natural flow and order that feels beyond you, yet holds you in time and space. You will now start to shift your approach on how you create. These principles promote response and lay to rest the will to react. You will lead through your aligned fields. You will naturally float and arrive without force to new ideas and creativity. Again, naturally and without effort, the creative process of this sacred architecture will reveal its process in becoming through ease and grace. You have toiled over time. Limitations and artificial structure have bred panic, stress, and anxiety, lacking the sacred support of what true divine sacred architecture holds. You are now remembering, not learning, you're remembering how very different this feels to what you have previously known. Your mind questions, suspicious and untrusting. The process of creating seems way too easy. The process lacks the trauma and challenge you've always known. Of course, prior to this, you have created in distress, misaligned, disconnected, and guided solely by a very busy mind full of doubt and fear. Now, beloved, you shall know the universe within you, how she thrives, shines, and evolves in every beauteous moment. Change no longer triggers mistrust. Change now soothes your nervous system. Why? Because through the ancient Hermetic teachings, you have aligned with the metaphysical science that has stood since time began. Now play, sweet child, play. Dive into the cosmic cauldron and relish in the comfort and glory that you are indeed the conductor of the sacred orchestra of the universe. You are indeed the cause and effect of your reality. May peace and the principles give rise to the master, your teacher, your father, Thoth. Breathe that in. All the way in. And this is the gift of Father. So as we go through his message there are so many principles that are woven into his words here. When he references now, you are indeed the cause and effect of your reality. That is very much a karmic thing. So, are you having to balance scales? Are you being in victim consciousness? Are you being washed away by the wave? Or are you creating and instigating the wave? Cause and effect. When you just say every morning when you get out of bed, I am the cause, I am the cause, I am the cause. It brings you right in to that presence, you know? So, so that's his message as we move into what the principle of mentalism is all about. Now, this is the thing. Oh man, we've been on this block a long time. In my early days, people used to say to me, "Oh, I want to get rid of my ego. You got to get out your ego." I mean, I tried for years to get rid of my ego. That's like cutting your toes off. You kind of need them, but I tried to get rid of it, you know. But then we understand that it's just about balancing. I mean, the principle of mentalism is exactly that. The universe is mental. It's the master key and the skeleton key. So there's 7 principles. Now, the first one is obviously the principle of mentalism. They cannot be swapped around. You must master the first one, and then the others will make sense, which is why this class is so important. It's almost like the door opening for you to really deep dive into the others. Now, each and every key, as you call it, the principle, when you look at it, you'll go, well, that's similar to that. Well, that's similar to that. It's the all mind. Everything is actually one. And then what will happen is the more you work with the principles, you'll go through life and somebody be talking and you'll be like, ah, it's the principle of that. It's the principle of this. And you become so aware. And that's you just, I mean, I love this line that he says, dive into the cosmic cauldron and relish in the comfort and glory that you are indeed the conductor of the sacred orchestra of the universe. I mean, like, oh my God, I keep reading that over and over again. That is exactly it. You command the music. You are the one, right? So the universe is mental, all right? So it is kind of bonkers. I always laugh at that. Mental, absolutely crazy. Universe is absolutely crazy, you know, but the universe is mental, meaning it's all about the mind. We need this. So all of a sudden the shoulders relax and the jaw relaxes and you go, oh, thank God. I've been trying so hard to just try and not be that, right? But this is really about working with the principle through the mind. Okay, so now the way that the principle of mentalism it works, it basically says all is mind and the universe is mental. So what it means by all is mind or all mind, it goes beyond the universes. It's actually the universe responds to that. It responds to that. It's very much like Heka. You won't find Heka in the Middle Earth. The people would pray to the deities. The deities would be like, got it. Thanks, bro. Got your little prayer there. And then they go, hang on a minute. And they go, Heka, please, can you give me some magic so I can grant these guys their prayer? And that's what would happen. So even Heka is up there, the Heka code's gods. They're up there with that kind of like origin source code, right? So if we can get a real good idea. So my intention for you guys, if today, as working together, is to really plug ourselves into that point. That is our kind of like pinning the tail on donkey. Once we've got our consciousness locked in there, locked and loaded, then I know that because you're all powerful teachers in your own right, you're going to be able to unravel it from there. Okay. So anything that makes you feel that you're not worthy to plug into there, we're going to clear it out the way today. So when we finish this class today, you're in there. So you have it's almost like having a walkie-talkie, and it's not making contact with the other one. We need to make sure that we have cell phone network, and you know what I mean, and that you haven't run out of airtime, kind of thing, right? So now, with the principle of mentalism as well, the way it speaks of is you are a product of the Mother, Father, God. So before anything was created, Mother, Father, God were there chilling, and they were like, do you know what? Should we make a universe just because we can? And they were like, yeah, let's do it, man. You know? And they were like, what are we going to put in there? And they're like, I don't know, but we're Mother, Father, God. We do whatever we like. You know what I mean? And they were like, should we make some like 4-legged funny things with fur? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's make some beautiful rivers. Okay, let's do that. And then all of a sudden, they're like got their cosmic cauldron, which Toth talks about a lot, and they're like mashing it up in the kitchen. And they're like, should we make some people? And they're like, oh my God. Like mother's like, woo, so squealy. Father's like, gotcha, babe. So anyway, they make these, this is my mind. Okay, just work with me here. So they make these beautiful human beings, and they put them in with the animals, with the legs, and they look at it and they sit back and they're like, that is just amazing. You're part of that. Why would we think that we're separate? This is where separate conscience and separation consciousness comes in. This is why I delivered that funny story, a way to look at it. You're not separate of it. I was on 3 grams of mushrooms in a ceremony in my garden once, and I live in I live in this beautiful place in Cape Town, and I've got like woods in my garden. It's very overgrown. And I remember sitting there going, oh my God, it was in the day. I was like, this is absolutely stunning. Look at the trees, look at the birds, And then I was just like, not feeling that I was part of it. And then all of a sudden it's like, look at you. And I was like, oh, hey, I am actually part of this. And that's when it dropped in. And I was like, why would I ever think I was separate of this? And that's when it became very, very relevant to me that we've put ourselves to the side, gone, yeah, and that's why we can't plug in. So it's not that it's just solely our issue. We've got we work for the whole of the humanity, right? So it's basically that's our work, that's our job, to actually collapse that belief system that we are separate. So that's the way. So when they say you are part of the all mind, you're part of their manifestation. And if we're part of Mother, Father, God's manifestation, that means that we're made of some good shit. That means that we are actually God spark, because they made our part of our mind is a fragment of theirs. Oh, I get goosebumps when I say that. Part of our mind is a fragment of theirs. So when we want to manifest something, plug straight in. Hey, Michelle, plug straight in to the all mind. If you want to plug a thought and speak to your soul sisters on the other side of the planet because you want to do a group with them or something like that, communicate through there. If you want to send a message or whatever and speak to the masses, you go up there. Okay. So that is why this is so important, right? So now start each day as a creator. All right. So this is where it starts at the beginning of the day. Now, I have this theory. If I need to drink water and I start hitting a pint of water by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to hit my 2 liters of water. I'm going to be peeing like a racehorse, and it's just going to be disaster. But if I hit that pint of water when I wake up, I'm on it, man. And the day just flows. So if we don't get at this kind of like energy anchored in the first hour of your day, forget about it. You know what I mean? So it's like, even when you're lying in bed, I've started to now work with the principles when I'm sleeping in dream state, because I've learned how to kind of like action lucidity by thinking in my dream state just before I wake up. And my big thing is the Hermetic Principle of Cause and Effect, which is that one about karma, which is like, if you're the cause, you're already stepping in from an empowered position. If you're the effect, somebody's bullying you and you're playing small and all the rest of it. No. You're the cause. So when I'm sleeping, I'm like, I am the cause. I am the cause. And then when that beat hit the ground and I get out of bed, I'm like, right, boom, watch out day. Here we go. So that is like really, really powerful, right? So you do not force positivity. You become aware that you are shaping reality. This is such a big game changer for me. I was like, ding, 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 when I wrote this down and sat with it, because the problem is affirmations, right? I love affirmations. I think they're very, very important. I can talk my way into positivity, and I can also talk my way into suicide very quickly. I know that the power of the mind, right? So basically, if we talk positive, eventually we can get ourselves there. But it's almost like you're forcing through affirmation something inside of you that's not quite aligned. Right? So let's not force a reality. Let's kind of shift it, take a breath, and know that you are shaping reality. That's a belief system, right? In fact, I want to write that down for our meditation. Because the belief system that you feel that you're not the all mind is going to have you on the back foot. So there's some very simple, practical things here. Changing your belief system that you are just not a part of it, to that you are the cause and effect, and that you are actually here to shape reality. Once you realize you're the boss of your business and you're not there as an employee, and I want to just chuck it out there. All my life, right, I've been an entrepreneur. I've always been the one. I've always worked for myself as an exercise specialist. I've never worked for any. Well, I worked for my dad, but he kept firing me. I just thought that was very rude. And that was the only time I worked for somebody. And then I kind of like, it's a him problem, not me. I'm not the drama. But anyway, I left there, and I basically from then on was an entrepreneur. So I kind of like, have always been in a kind of, I suppose, a boss position, right? But why is it that I've always felt like I work for someone? Why is it like I will work with a social media team and it's taken me a long time to shift my energy that I'm like, excuse me, if you don't mind, when you get 5 minutes, God damn it, you're paying them loads of money. Get this done. I need this. Yep. Thanks very much. No problem. Boom. On to the next. I'm sat there apologizing and like I'm serving them. So there's also that, me and Lindsay were talking about it, weren't we? About thinking that we've done something wrong. Do you have those feelings in your life where you just constantly feel like you haven't got your homework in on time? And there's that anxiety anxiety, right? Where you're like, oh my God. So there's that. These are the feelings of just feeling like an imposter. These are the feelings, classic starseed stuff is thinking that you've got it wrong, that you're not good enough, and that you're in trouble. You know, seeing a message come up on your phone straight away, you've got high anxiety because you're like, somebody's going to have a go at me. And then you read it and you're like, okay, we're good. You know, we have to squash that. And the way we squash that is coming into all mind. Because if you know that you are the principle of mentalism, then like whatever, you know? So you see, so another thing here as well is seeing everything as a mirror. So this is the thing, like we know that when something plays out there, okay, we know that it's a reflection from us. Sometimes I like to do a bit of blamey because it's good for my anger. And then when I've got a quiet moment, I'm like, ah, okay, so that was me. Do you know what I mean? We've got to embrace our human, right? We've got to embrace our human. But everything is a mirror, absolutely everything. So in every moment when something plays out, your conversation is what belief or thought is reflecting that reality. Straight away, you go into power. You go into power in that situation and you get to change your internal reality. So, with these principles, your aim of the game is to immediately change your inner reality as quick as possible. Treat it like a game. How quick can I go boom, boom? Now, Michelle, you and I had a conversation about this, didn't we? Like we spoke about how you had a family issue, you went to a do.
Yes.
And yeah, so if you want to share with the group a little bit, kind of how quickly you shifted from that into something else.
So I got invited to a Friendsgiving and I basically was attacked by this woman with her words. And immediately when I got there, I felt a shift. There was something, I saw the lights flickering, no one saw it. There were so many signs in my body that I didn't listen to. And I knew that something was wrong because I didn't do anything to her. This is the first time I'm meeting her. And I went home, processed the whole thing. I was in my feelings in the beginning because you got to get your feelings out of it.
Yeah, you
That's
got
what
to
it
allow it.
is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so once I saw the bigger picture, I started to get visions of me and her. It was a past life bleed. And so when I spoke to Marie, and I told her the story, and I was like, "What do you think?" And she was like, "That's exactly what I was going to say was a bleed,
Mm.
And I had to take my emotions out of it first because I felt like, oh my God, I was attacked, and my sister didn't say anything, and no one said anything. You got to get your emotions out of it first.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm, mm, mm. And then, but you've got to like, yeah, I love the fact that you said you've got to feel it because this is what
yeah.
we go through. There has to be a balance where we actually
There
just
has to
hold
be a
that moment.
balance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Saying, oh, for God's sake, you overreacted. Then no, overreact, feel it, man, swear, break
right.
things. And then,
Yeah.
you know what I
And I
mean?
felt it the first day. I felt it. And then I got myself out of it. And I was like, wait a minute, this is something bigger because she was calling me this nasty word. There has to be a reason for it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I pieced everything together. So everything that's happening to you, it's for a reason. You got to
Yeah.
pay attention to everything, the lights flickering, the way your body is feeling in the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
you're
Thank you.
welcome.
No, like just to add to that as well. I mean, my whole life, even by older teachers when I lived in Zimbabwe, they're like, "Oh my God, you read too much into anything. If a leaf falls, I'm like, ah, oh, that means this, that, and the other." And it's like I read everything because I'm like, and my thing is just like I say sorry for you because you only get half the messages in life. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, if somebody trips over or whatever, I'm like, oh, look at that. And that's spirit will work through those things if you're willing to listen to everything, right? So I read everything. I'm like, go for it. So now you and Source think together from this day on. I want us to, oh, my crown's tingling. This day on, right? I want us to really kind of combine our energy and frequency here through our minds into the all mind, one collective. So as I sit here on the screen and I'm looking at all of you guys, right? That we're all connected as one big this, right? That's how telepathy works, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I'm sure in this lifetime, once we like really, really kind of get going with this, I mean, how many times do we just say, "Oh my God, I was thinking of you"? I even did it with Lindsay, didn't I? I was just like, I wasn't very well one day, and I was like, answer your phone, see the message, see the message, and you don't ever see the messages. But that morning, I was sending my mind messages to it. It worked. I had a bit of a headache after that, but I did it. But it's like, really, these are our superpowers and our gifts coming online. So what Toth is actually saying is we start to effort a lot less, right? So when we let go of all of this doing and everything like that, we in our humanness, and this is just my personal experience, like when I've been working with the Hermetic principles, things happened immediately. Immediately. So what's the first thing Marie's human does is I go, oh no, no, no. This is no, this can't be right. You know what I mean? Because I'm so used to like focusing on something, going, manifest it, manifest it. And if I have some hours in the day, I'm like, oh, I'm not thinking about the thing, I'm not working hard enough. And then that's actually control, isn't it? You know, you think you're coming through the spiritual filter, but you might as well be doing, because essentially you are. But that's how easy it is. So we have to get rid of all of these belief systems that tells us that the way this magic works takes like a lot of work. It doesn't. So there's like, belief systems that we need to clear out the mix, that it's actually flipping easy. Think it and manifest it. And it's like going to the gym. You can't go to the gym and basically do abs once a week and think to get a bikini body. You got to kind of go and turn up often where your gym membership is. Otherwise, there's shit going to happen. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I've tried it. But like, this is the thing. It's like, we've got to go there and we've got to basically put in the work short term to get rid of all of these belief systems that prevent you from just tapping in, and then it's effortless and easy, right? So now I have so what's the idea I've written here? So, okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a little bit of a written exercise here. So we're going to put it into practicality a little bit. Well, first of all, before I do that, I'm actually just going to kind of like move through, because I know you've all got the Kabbalion and everything like that, but I'm going to give you a short run through just to bring the energies of the seven principles to this space. So the principle of mentalism is understanding that we're all mind. So you must match up the idea of you in there. You want to keep it real and keep it real simple, because let me tell you, read some of these books, and that's why I'm an alchemical decoder, because some of this stuff I can understand. I just have to like look at it and channel it and understand it and then keep playing with it, And then it starts to come through your filter, right? So the principle of mentalism is all about the idea of you is up there. Or like Esther Hicks talks about it all the time. Love her. She'll always talk about the rocket of desire. Yeah. The idea that comes in. How many rockets of desire do you get a day? I'm like, oh, I need to do that. And then about 5 minutes later, Marie's squeezed the joy out of it. I've thought all the joy out of it. And now it's just like a dead fish, So that rocket of desire is the universe saying, hey, this is in the bank. This is in the bank. Do you want it? Do you want it? Do you want it? But we don't catch the ball. We're like that crap team member, baseball, going, throw it to Johnny. Johnny always drops the ball, man. Don't drop the ball. Be like, I've got it. I've got it. I'm here. I'm open, right? That's what we want to be doing. So the way I see that is like when you get that idea, you must line up with it. And I'm going to use me as a perfect example. In a minute, which is going to be your written exercise. But that's the principle of mentalism. Principle of correspondence, as above, so below, so within, so without. We kind of get that. You can go into the depths of this, but it's all dimensions of just making sure, just as I said, that you match up everywhere. You can't be like, you know what I mean? Sort of like being all spiritual and everything like that. And then like at nighttime in the club, snarfing cocaine and going for a quickie in the toilet. It just doesn't actually like, these are analogies, man. I'm just bringing life into stuff. Or maybe I'm talking about my youth. I don't know. Don't judge me. We don't judge. Was it? We don't say anything. We don't judge. Anyway, that thing. Principle of vibration. Okay, that's kind of says it all. Really, it's about talking yourself up into that alignment, right? Principle of vibration is like really thinking about the idea and making sure that your thoughts match it. So it really does speak for itself. Principle of polarity. I love, because that's knowing that there's two poles. Actually, doubt is trust. It's just a lower version of that. Okay. So all that's happened from trust is you got smacked, dropped, smacked, dropped, dropped. And then what happened, because the vibration, you see, there's the principles, the vibration dropped the original idea, principle of mentalism, that trust was firing on all cylinders. Through a series of events, it chipped away, chipped away, chipped away until it was sat there like that, looking like Eeyore out of Winnie the Pooh. And it's like, what's wrong? And it's like, I'm now like doubt, because I was trust, and we've just got to speak to doubt and go, sorry, let's bring you back up now and have a nice conversation with it, right? So now, principle of rhythm, mine and Lindsay's favorite, hey? Is it principle of rhythm? I think so. So principle of rhythm, the pendulum swing. I was sick as fuck today, because yesterday I was clearing and I was like, I am healed with my new coccyx. It's gone. And then today, hit the deck. Yeah, absolutely. Hit the deck. And then was really sick because my field, this is the principles, very important with the principles to understand this. Your field will react super fast. I know you all teach and I know we all work with energy, but let me tell you, it works faster than I've ever known anything. And your field adjusts immediately, and then your human's just like, oh shit. So it's got to catch up, you know? So there's the pendulum swing. You're like up there, like, wow, be expectant that like it's okay to be over here. How many times do you guys work on a portal? Me, I go mad. I'm like mad professor, right? And you're on it and you're on it, right? Kamali, you're like kind of on it, and everything's just magical and amazing. And you've just created things from like other worlds. And then the next day, you're like, I'm so tired. And then, yeah, and then you shit on yourself and you're like, come on, we need to repeat the day we had before. But instead, we got to kind of go, and today's rest because it's the contraction. And then tomorrow will be an extent. That one has really worked well for me because I need to be on all the time. And that's the problem. That's been my problem, you know? So that's principle of rhythm, and that everything is a cycle. You know, with every in breath, there's an out breath. With every high, there's a low. Do you know what I mean? With every sunshine, there's a sunset. So being in honor of those cycles and working as a conscious creator that we have been forced to work like the rest of the world. Like 8 to 5, Monday to Friday, doing all of these things. And we've been forced to be in that creative, what they think is creative. And it doesn't work for us now. We are the ones creating the new earth, the new world. You'll be working on a Monday. You might be lying under a tree, like chilling under an oak tree for the next day. Next day you'll work. Weekends don't matter to me. If I'm feeling the call, I'll work. Every day doesn't really matter to me. Whereas before it's like, oh, we don't work on Saturday or Sunday. I play. So it's like really we are going to be the ones that are setting the new tone on how creators create. And that is why we struggled so hard, because we've tried to stick in with the old earth. We didn't belong there. None of us did. None of us belonged in the old world. And we're just realizing that now. Going, thank God. No wonder it was so hard for us. So that's the principle of rhythm. Principle of cause and effect. Karma. That is basically be the cause, be the cause. When I was sat here being a whiny baby with my coccyx, I was like, yeah, I just said sore. And then I was going through perimenopause and I'm just like, I'm fat. Everything's just shit. And I wanted to leave the planet often. And my husband was just like, come on, babe, you got this. And that was probably the worst thing you could do because it just compounded my baby, you know? And then I was like, no, come away from the effect. Get onto the cause. This is a massive like shift. So go and get your patches, stick them on your butt, put a smile on it, straighten your crown, put a good bra on. Right, let's do this. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's literally what it boils down to, isn't it? Get on the other side of the wave. Don't be slammed by it, right? And then also as no karma. You know, we know a lot of people in our lives that have probably not been that very nice, are they? And they look at their lives now and they look like they're struggling just a little bit. And that's going to be governments as well. So we look at cause and effect and we're like, yeah, hey, Ra, how you doing, bro? Hey, we got Detroit in the house. Woo, woo. Okay. So welcome. I'm so glad you made it. So, principle of gender balance the whole way. Okay, this can basically move in so many different ways, right? So the principle of gender, let's use it more immediate. So when you wake up in the morning, and we are all neurodivergent. I don't care what you say, we are all neurodivergent. So we can have like not just 10 tabs, there's 20 tabs open. Let me tell you, it's cooking, right? So now we actually embrace that. Okay. So now what happens with me, or had done in the past, I get all these mad ideas and I'm like, I'm going to do this, going to do this. And I'd sit at this desk all day and I just procrastinate and I just pull oracle card after oracle card. And I'm like, I'm just getting ready to do my thing. And I would never do anything. So now it's like, no, get the idea, be really clear on the idea. That's the divine feminine saying, hey, I got some sugar for you. Get your journal. Write one idea down, right? Then you're going to sit there and you're going to literally call in your divine masculine and say, right, how are we going to action this today? What do we need to do? And that really is just getting on. Have you heard that cause and effect in there? So you've actually implemented the principle of cause and effect within the principle of gender. Do you see how they overlap? You got to call in the principle of cause and effect to get in the right position. Then speak to the feminine. Right, what's your idea? Great. Let me speak to the boy. He's like, right, okay, let's do this. And then you move forward. And you have now balanced your energy. Because remember, divine feminine plus divine masculine equals creation. Right. But if we're going to sit there and the divine feminine is like a wet piece of lettuce in the sun too long and she's just like, oh, I just don't know what to do. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm just going to twiddle my hair and just be like, fuck. That's a divine. Sorry, Miriam, you were twiddling your hair. I wasn't explaining. I wasn't saying anything there. So like, but you know what I'm saying? And then of course the masculine is going to be out to lunch. He's just chilling, man, because you know, all of your cats are running everywhere. It's like herding cats. So just have a bit of a team talk. It's real simple. There's only two of them, feminine, chat, masculine, right, let's go. And that is us as creators, right? That is us as creators. Now, certain days, that masculine and feminine will tell you, get away from your desk because you'll sit there and it's not always available, right? So that's where you sit there and go, chill. What is your feminine saying you need to do today? And the masculine might be saying, listen, I hear you with the idea, but today you need to work with the principle of rhythm because you're on a bit of a downswing on the pendulum. You need to go and chill, have a cup of coffee, don't work today, tomorrow's a new day. So you see how I wanted to share these with you. You see how these principles just weave into each other. Now, before you know it, you are like this crazy mad cauldron magician and you're just chucking shit in your cauldron and you're just like, let's have a bit of that. That's the principles. Let's do a bit of that. And once you have this very sacred guidance from the all mind, because you're plugged in up there, you ain't listening to anybody else. You don't need to do another workshop. You don't need to do anything else. You are plugged into source, brother, properly. You know what I mean? There is nothing else. And then you're just gonna have the best time. So now this is your writing exercise because I know we're all massive creatives here, right? So what's the idea? Okay. Now I'm using me as an example, a teaching example. So I want you to think about what is your idea, right? You can journal or you could just listen, whatever. So I wanted to take people to Egypt. Well, I didn't want to actually. I got like dragged into that because I was very resistive, okay, when I first started this gig, okay? So I now agreed, sacred yes, okay, I'm going to do the whole taking people to Egypt, right? And that was the all mind, okay? So the idea came from the all mind. They bellowed down to me, you are to take groups to Egypt. This is what's happening. I sat there and I was like, okay, cool. I'll say yes. And then I sat there and just shat myself and just basically anxiety. I was just like, I don't know anybody. I don't even have an Instagram account that's actually functioning. I was a little bit on YouTube. I was like, how do I do this? I don't know how to run tours. So can you see how I was completely aligned? Completely misaligned. That was the idea. And it was like, boom. So anyway, I'm going to be very open and honest here because I think it's really important as creators. Those of you that I chat to all the time, you know I've struggled with these tours and everything like that because it's a massive initiation of getting into alignment with all of this, right? And the first I did it from my first group was in 2022 on the 22nd of April. And I took 22 people. How mad is that? So that was like, whoa. And I mean, that was a big group, right? And then the next group was 7 women only. The kind of group that I took was absolutely, but of course there was this fear of just numbers. I got to get the numbers in because everybody was putting a lot of pressure on me. And it was just, I did the tours every single year. But there was such a deep internal kind of fight to actually just get over my fear and anxiety. Everybody on the outside looking in just sees Marie living her best life, but it's actually not. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Now I'm like really lined myself up now with the principles. And this Sekhmet pilgrimage, I have literally a stampede. I am like, it is ridiculous. Everybody's aligned. Everybody is exactly the people that I need to work with. Everybody, I'm not even talking about what I'm going to teach there. People are just like, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it. That's the principles because I worked a lot less harder and I brought myself into this center now. So I basically had to match myself with the all mind. They said to me, we are not going to deliver because about a year ago, and actually quite recently, I said, listen, team, I can't keep going through these sleepless nights, the anxiety of carrying such a big mission. I've always wanted to put it down rather than run towards it. And they would never let me. And then I just sat there and I was just like, I don't think I want to do this anymore because it's robbing me of my misery. And they said, there is nothing with you. I said, have I taken a wrong turn here? Have I done something wrong? Doubt, doubt, doubt. Me and Ra, we've spoken about this a lot, right? As creators, it's like question yourself all the time. When's it going to come online? The only thing I haven't done is collapse this gig. And they were like, the all mind, go up there. So I was like, right, how does the idea feel to you? Great. How do you feel when you do the first day on the tour? I don't fear at all. It's the easiest part. I'm like lights, camera, action in the Great Pyramid, no problem. I have no problem. It's basically the bits in between. So they said, so that tells you that the all mind is speaking the truth. That's the idea. That is your truth. The issue here is that you have not aligned with the all mind idea. You need to get your human self basically matching the same frequency, and then it will be like a hot knife through butter. Heard this before many times, and I was just like, okay. So anyway, I worked with the principles and I did it every single day. And I've only done it for a short time, as in journaling every single day, working with the principles and doing what I'm sharing with you. And let me tell you, it has exploded. Like it's just, I can't keep up with it. And I'm kind of like, what? Because I've been doing these tours for 10 years, and it hasn't been easy, but I've managed to roll it out. But the thing is, I want you to do now is I want you to go back to your idea, because if that idea excites you, you are meant to do it. You do not give up on it. But what you need to now understand is, where are you out of alignment with that? And it could be a beloved that you want to connect with. It could be a business. It could be an album. Hey, Ra. It could be anything, any of these things, any of these creations that you've got going out there. Maybe you want to hold tours. I don't know what it is. Maybe you just want to live an abundant, like more joyous life, just so you don't have to stress. There is an idea that's going to come to you. So what I want you to do is I want you to write it down, what the idea is that you want to work on, and bring the energy in. Okay. So I want you to do that. So it's the idea of the all mind, an idea that bursts into your mind. And then once you've written down your idea, so we get these ideas, right? And we're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then, or you may have an idea already at play. So now you want to ask yourself, well, if it's not coming to me in the fullness that it's supposed to come to me, where am I not vibrationally matched to it? Now, there's another way that you can work with this as well, which is very much the principles. And I teach this with my Hecker Code sessions. You work with your idea as a business being of light. So whatever your creation is, if it has a name, perhaps as an album name or a creation name or whatever it might be, think of the name. And I want you to start meditating from this day on with that business being of light. And I want you to connect with it like it's got a heartbeat, as if it was Sekhmet, or as if it was Thoth or something like that. And I want you to connect with the energy of it, as if you're channeling them. And it will be the same thing, because that idea came from the all mind. So if you find it easier to actually connect with your business being light, now mine is tablets of light. I'm Marie Coverley, Sacred Missions and Expeditions, but my tours are tablets of light, and they're the ones with the big wings. Sekhmet has their own logo. Each tour I do has their own logo, but it has wings. So I remember sitting in Zimbabwe, having a terrible time with these tours, just not wanting to do them. And because I was in a constant dark night of the soul, and I just basically connected with her, and I was like, what is it you need? What is it that I'm missing here? And it came straight back to me. This is Tablets of Light speaking. And they said, you carry me as a burden. I need you to know that I am not the burden. You're the burden. You created me through joy. That's how I was born. I came to you when you were in Egypt, right? That was the original idea of me. When you approach me with the same frequency of which I was born, joy, not as a burden. And then that was what was happening, is I was approaching the bench with all of this burdensome energy, and it was just not matching. She was like, that's your stuff, not mine. And I remember thinking, well, shit, I didn't expect that response from talking to my business being of light. Now, the reason I share that with you is because it's exactly the same as going into the all mind, where the idea is. So imagine yourself like everybody who was born in the 70s, like, beam me up, Scotty, right? Okay. There's a shaft of energy, a fast shaft of light that comes down from spirit. If you're out of it and you're wondering why you're not receiving, you've moved your postcode. You know what I mean? You got to get back in, man. Do you know what I mean? And you've got to align. So if there's nothing if it's not flowing to you, you need to ask the principles, especially the principle of mentalism. I use it with the pendulum. I do a swing, and I'll close my eyes and I'll go, give me a number from 1 to 7. I'll go through it. 1, 2, and you have that sway test. I'll always sway forward. Sometimes I get 1, sometimes I get 2. Then I'll go back and I'll look at that principle as to what the all mind has told me that I need to work with. And then I will unpack it and go, well, why do you want me to work with cause and effect? It will give you so much information as to why you're not receiving. Because you'll go, well, if they said to me cause and effect, all right, I know that that's me not being in my power and me not commanding it and being in victim consciousness. Okay, so where is that happening when I'm actually thinking about these tours? What's my belief systems? You know what I mean? I'm not worthy. I'm always in lack. And what these principles will do is it will make you tap into an energy field of feeling that abundance rather than being on the back foot and feeling lack. So these principles will tell you exactly through your own bodies exactly where your cake mix is missing an ingredient and it's flat, right? So now you go to a teacher or you go to something else like, which is just another therapy or whatever. Yeah, fine. But you can easily lose your way. But if you're talking to the all mind, you're talking to Toth and you're going straight into the all mind and spirit, there ain't nothing higher than that. There ain't nothing higher than that. So that's a very, very clean conversation right there. Right. And then it's just between you and the all mind. So you see how we're cutting all the debris out. And what's also important right now as well is clearing all of these pre-teachings from any other teachers that have actually encouraged you to go out there. You want to keep all the teachings of teachers that make you go in here. Melchizedek is, and that's one of the energies I'm plugged into. Melchizedek does not teach your faith. Melchizedek helps you strengthen your faith. It is not my choice nor my will to actually get in between you and your beliefs, but it is my mission on this earth to help you strengthen most deeply into the all mind with that belief, right? With your faith. Okay. And that's really, really important, right? That you strengthen that and you close the gap. There's no toxins in your cauldron mix, right? So now, whatever's coming up, the idea of you and the creations of what you want to do and everything like that, kind of sense and feel where it goes wrong. So, for example, you could say, well, I'm not good enough. There's no way I could do that. Don't have enough money, don't have enough time. See what the narrative is. Sit in meditation and just see what comes up. Where do you feel it in your body, right? It could take you back to a time when you were a little kid. You know what I mean? It could come back to a time where you grew up where parents lost businesses, made businesses, lost businesses, made businesses. That's a trauma. That's how I grew up. Nothing was ever sustainable. My dad's an absolutely amazing businessman and he's now made a business and he's keeping it. But the pendulum swing, that's what I was like. Have it, don't have it. Have it, don't have it. Always be on high alert because shit, we might lose it. So all of these things have come into your consciousness. So allow the time to allow the principles to show you what's in your belief systems, right? So I'm not good enough changes to, I am a powerful creative and I'm really good at da, 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 da. And you talk to yourself. Like I will say to Sekhmet, what was I saying? Oh, I shared it with Michelle, actually. I was working with the cause and effect. And I said, today, this is a good one. You can write this one down. Today, I am the cause in inverted commas, I'm the cause of success and wealth through conscious leadership. Today, I am the cause of success and wealth through conscious leadership. I love the fact that there's today in it because it makes it more acute. Not just like airy fairy, I've forgotten about it now because I've gone out with my mates for coffee and then it's all just drifted off. But today, so you can keep real conscious on that day. Today, I am the cause of success and wealth through conscious leadership. I am supported. My leadership is stabilized. That's Osiris. I am supported. That's the principle of mentalism. My leadership is stabilized. That's the principle of rhythm. And also vibration. And also gender, because it's masculine and feminine. It's balanced. So you see, you start using these things, it's all weaved in there. It becomes a beautiful, beautiful mix. Now, if you really want to get technical with these principles, because we are working from the all mind at the moment, if you had two principles that came up with something like this, if you muscle tested and two principles came up, do the numerology. So if principle number 3 had a baby with principle number 5, okay, what's the outcome of those two principles that you put together, right? So that's how you can really play. This is alchemy. This is alchemy, which is why he said, now play, sweet child. When I read out that thing, now play, sweet child, play, right? So don't overthink it because there are no rights and wrongs here. This is not textbook stuff. So play with the numerology side of it and you'll just see the energy. The universe is just speaking to you and communicating to you through the all mind, right? So remember, it's the all mind that commands the universe. So you don't get responded to with the universe going, well, I'm a good guy. I'm a good chick. I like long walks on the beach and I kind of like work at the shelter now and again. The universe sadly don't give a shit about that, which basically explains to you why there's so many bad people in the world who are filthy rich. Because why? They they believe they are entitled to everything. They truly believe that everything is theirs. They truly, especially corporates, they don't leave anything on the table when you do business with them. Go and do business with a one-man guy, there's always something on the table. Everybody gets to eat. A corporate will be like, ah, no, because they believe they're entitled to it. And that's how these bad bastards have got like all this money, because the way they think and they believe they're entitled. So the universe is responding to that, and they will stay with their money. So you're not going to be rewarded because your heart's good. You're going to be rewarded because of your belief and what you are commanding, what you are calling. Yeah. So this is why these affirmations shape your reality. They don't talk you into submission internally. You have to really think about it and go, no. As if you're talking to one of your kids or your dog. You know what I mean? Don't shit on the carpet. Okay? Don't. All right? Get out. Simple. You do it every day. You do it every day. Do people listen to you? Right. They do. Right? Don't worry, Miriam. It's all good, my lovely. I'll see you later. Okay. Mwah. Bye-bye, love. So yeah, so now we're going to call in Sekhmet for this. And you're going to kind of go into a meditation now. So now this is where we bring fire into form. Miriam, I'll send you the recording so you can do this. All right, love. So we're going to go into a meditation now. So Toth is very much with us. Okay, so you've got your. There might be other things that come up in this meditation, by the way. Okay, so if it does, fine, go with that, right? So we're going to go with the thought and the idea. We're going to bring in Sekhmet's frequency and everything like that, and we're going to now burn away any false belief systems that basically sit in the way of you being able to think together with the All Mind. Right? We're also going to plug you into the All Mind. All right. So anyway, just take a nice big deep breath. Let me just get some smudge. Where are we? Okay, so take some nice big deep breaths. Inhale and exhale because we've been brainstorming quite a lot because the universe is mental. And another big breath. Inhale. And exhale. And one more like that. Big breath. Inhale. And breathe out. So now allowing everything to just settle down now. All of the magic is turned on. All of the energy and electricity is fired up and ready to go. And now as you feel, I feel for us very, very strong, very sort of like in presence and commanding. This is why the divine masculine has now come home. I've done a video on this recently. We're all feeling it. This is proof that the divine masculine is now here. This sense of presence, this sense of showing up, this sturdiness and strength. Your foundation is strong. So allow your energy field to match that, because this is also very Sekhmet as well. That you have this inner authority. And that is what this is all a product of. All of these taking the layers off and everything like that. Every time you say no to someone, you say yes to someone else. Every time you say no to something, it's like you're calling in your inner authority because you're putting boundaries in place. Sacred architecture, boundaries, and you become so anchored in this middle world. And only in this middle world can you receive your gifts, your wealth and prize, because it's only the middle world that you can receive such things. You can't do it in the stars. You can't do it in the underworld. The stars is up there. The underworld's a transformation, but the middle world is where you get your wealth and prize, your fruits off the tree. So we are fully committed now, showing up in the middle world, full on, full out, taking up space and feeling the presence of Osiris as we stand together. So as you stand here, I always see you guys, all of us, flickering like a golden pyramid. Like your structure always shows me like pyramid. And then there's the human you, pyramid, human you. And as you stand there commanding this space, you feel so present as the stars, they twinkle above you. As the earth beneath you kind of holds you. It's so, so, so strong. You feel like a vibration, as I keep saying in this session, like an electricity. Your feet chakras are alive. And you can feel that kind of like the anchoring into the earth. You feel very held. And you are in a perfect position to receive. You are now going to receive. And as you connect with the stars above, Yeah, it's the stars, man, and they're all dancing and they're twinkling and they are very much in celebration of you right now. As above, so below. But now you command to be connected, fully plugged in to somewhere so much deeper than the cosmos, so much deeper than the universe and the multiverse. But you have to really focus your presence in on the middle world. So suddenly, before we do that, suddenly you feel a presence coming from your right side. There's a big gush of wind, and all of a sudden, this earth plane looks very different and it gets a little bit stormy, but you're not scared, but you are in anticipation. And as you cast your eyes to the right, there she stands, Mother Sekhmet, who's twice the size of you. She's shown herself to be really big today. Her flames and her mane is like fire itself. And she's ready for work because her eyes are glistening with fire and power. And there is almost like a dragon's breath because she's just steaming with transformative fire. And she walks towards you with her staff and she bangs it 3 times on the floor. Boom, boom, boom. And you feel this activation run through your sacred architecture. You welcome it. You're ready for it. No longer do you fear. Sekhmet laughs because every time she used to come and visit you, there was a little bit of smallness going on. But she's really acknowledging that you are standing there, albeit smaller than her, heart to heart, eye to eye, toe to toe. And she can feel the shift in your consciousness, that inner authority. And she is proud. She is so proud. But she says, dear heart, there is still work to be done. You have now realized that you are indeed spark of the Mother, Father, God, that you now have walked timeless like timelines and just infinite timelines, chipping away at the shadow, all of the illusion that has made you believe that you were separate. And this is a glorious moment, is it not? This is a glorious time on Gaia as you are victorious. But there is a final way to go. And this, sweetheart, will take you all the way through to the end of the year, if not a little bit further beyond. For your only focus now, your final piece to the jigsaw piece puzzle, so to speak, the final brick to your pyramid, for it is complete, is the absolute dissolution of any negative belief systems that stand in the way between you and the all mind. It is now time to take the final plug off that which keeps your power locked into your DNA dormant. Are you ready to unlock this, dear heart? Of course, you let out an almighty roar. You're ready. You're fierce. Fierce AF. You're ready for this. And she says, good. And she walks around you now. And as she walks around you, you notice, God, she literally is on fire. As she walks around you anti-clockwise, I might add, because this unlocks any energy and frequency. It activates the anti-clockwise action. And as she walks around you, each footstep, each foot that leaves the earth, she leaves like a fire footprint. And she's walking around you now, cultivating this energy. And you're happy for it. But she speaks as she walks. And she says, now, dear heart, it is time for you to bring up anything that is a negative belief system that makes you think that you are separate. That could be that you are not worthy of wealth. It could be that you believe that there is just a multiverse or a universe. It could be that you believe that you are forever to walk in separation. It could be that you feel that you're not strong enough. It could be that you don't feel that you are loved enough. None of these hold weight any longer. None of these. And now I just wish for you to take a moment, sweetheart, and I want you to speak to your higher self and ask them to bring to the surface any deeper belief systems that will be preventing you from receiving in its fullness any idea from the all mind. Anything that is preventing you from aligning with that, ask the higher self to bring it to be known now. You may feel this as pain in the body. You may feel this as anxiety without a story. You may feel this as maybe disappointment or disillusion. It may be a feeling rather than a belief. or it may be all of it. Either way, if it is easier for you to allow this black smoke to come to the surface, let it be black smoke. She watches you as you start to bring all of this stuff to the surface, because that's how much of a master you are. You can call it and you can pull it out now. You're not holding on to anything anymore. You've come this far now. You're too much in the knowing that you are a master, but there's just a few things that lay in the balance. And as you cultivate this energy to the surface, she quickens her pace around you now. And she's almost creating a fire vortex. And as you lift it out of your being, she ignites the fire. You are co-creating with Sekhmet. You are working together. Keep it coming, man. She keeps walking around you, banging her staff, roaring loud, cultivating the energy. And as she does so, this fire vortex spins faster and faster and faster. It actually creates a bit of a vacuum, because as you're bringing up all of this darkness, anything that is sitting in the way, it's almost being sucked up into this vortex, right? And then as you work, it goes real deep. It's right there in the root chakra. It's right there in the lower chakras. Then suddenly you feel the energy shift. You go beyond the heart. Now, all of a sudden, it's the head. You feel like there's a real suction energy coming from in your brain. And that's all the belief systems that are being pulled out from your mental body. Let it be known that she is intensifying this fire flames around the head now, which is just sucking out all of these just noisy negative belief systems. And just allow it to happen now. You stand in your presence. It's already going. Everything is just pouring out of you, and the flames are just eating it up. And then suddenly this vortex now moves from your feet. It's raising up the body. It's coming to a critical point. And the flame, she's walking, she's still roaring. She now cultivates these flames to come to the top of your head until this energy now shoots up. These flames shoot all the way up through the cosmos, through the universe, through the multiverse. And she lets out an almighty roar, and it plugs right into the all mind. Now, this flame strips coming from you is plugged into your crown chakra. You have a fire flame coming from your crown all the way to the all mind. That all mind is golden. That's when you know you've hit it. Golden light, space. There is nothing else except infinite golden space. You've gone beyond the layers. And now you feel this lightness all the way up in your body. You're free. Your sacred architecture is clean, man. No crumbly bricks, nothing, nada, done. But now you stand with this powerful fiery connection. There's a reason it's fire. Sekhmet says that between your crown and now going up through the cosmos, through the universe, multiverse, into the heart of one, that is running now. It's burning away and transmuting any blockages between your crown chakra and you and the all mind. It is burnt away, but it will continue to do so. You will leave it like this until you are told otherwise. There's a powerful connection. And you feel a warmth in your heart now. It's actually like a very relaxed feeling in your nervous system. Your body feels very clean. Like everything, there's space. There's space, because one cannot receive if your cupboards are full. That's what's happening here. And you feel this powerful stream of consciousness, this fire stream of consciousness between you and the all mind. And now the all mind, it speaks. And it asks you now to bring your mental focus all the way deeply into its presence. And as you shift from the human in physical form, you start to move your focus and your being and your presence into the all mind. So you're right up there. In fact, you're in two places at the same time. And that golden white frequency, you start to feel that heart of one. You get the concept. You start to feel the presence, the infinite presence, that you're not just one person. It's everything is up there. As you start to think up there, you feel the refining little electricity ripples that go out. And you can feel that that's going out all over the world. to all of the beings all over the world. Because every single being has been created in God's eyes, including you. So now your being is remembering this connection, remembering that you are the all mind, but I want you to still hold that presence of you as the human and now the all mind. Two places at one time. So now go back to the idea in the all mind that you just wrote about. Think about that idea up there. See if there's any more expansive possibility to come from that idea, because it's pure, it's divine. Perhaps there are others that you're meant to do it with. Send the energy up while you're up in the all mind. Send it out to those that know, those that were assigned to you to help you, that you need to meet, that all of the synchronicities, it comes from up there. So as you feel that infinite wealth of safety and just, it's right there, I want you to now refer back to your human and physical form. And I want you to draw that energy and feeling of just like, yes, we can. Yes, I can. Because today I am the cause of success and wealth through conscious leadership. Today I am supported. My leadership is stabilized. I am supported by the all mind. My leadership is stabilized because I've anchored in the all mind. I am now there. So take a big, deep breath in with that. And as you exhale, leave everything turned on. Sekhmet has now stepped back just a little. And she's just nodding. Because her work here is very much done. For she has brought fire with Thoth into form. And so it is. And so it moves. And so it is. And so it moves. And so it is. And so it moves. Taking a nice big deep breath. And then when you're ready, coming back to all of us, I suppose. Come back to me. That was kind of cool, wasn't it? My crown center's like... Okay, you guys are all right. You got a whole day to go. I got to try and sleep just now. It's going to be sat there at 2 a.m. just like, okay then. But I can feel it. I can feel the connection was made, right? Everybody feeling good? Everybody feeling fine? Yes. Love it. Yeah, man. Chest bump. I can do that now. I haven't got a sore coccyx. So now we are obviously, for those of you that need to go, I do understand, but I did know that this was going to be a little bit of a bigger class, but we're just going into the final stage now of the masculine, because we got Osiris. Yeah, Osiris is just, waiting to come in to put the final chocolate sprinkles on, right? So masculine, Osiris, as we know, we've all been feeling a big shift in the divine masculine coming in now in our bodies and in our being, right? So I could go on multitude of stories telling you that like what I'm experiencing in my world, but I think we're all pretty much on the same page. It's happening, the balance is in. And isn't it funny that the last principle is the principle of gender? It's number 7, completion. Winner. And we're in a 2025, number 9 year, winner. Everything's on point. You know what I mean? So it's like, yes, it's happening. So when we speak about Osiris, resurrection, wholeness, wisdom, wealth code, like yes, life, abundance, right? That is like, he's the god of paradise. Now, listen, everybody say he's god of the underworld, he's god of darkness, or whatever it might be, or death, For me, he's the god of paradise, and he's the god of the good stuff, man. And he's there kind of like in the Nile going, come on, guys, let's go. And that Isis is behind him because they're very much about life and living. And they're like, let's go and eat, like, let's go and sit in the papyrus, the papyrus grass, go swimming in the Nile and hang out and just live life, right? So that is why Osiris is coming in this capacity, right? So resurrection, wholeness, wisdom, wealth code, life, abundance. Now, I can't even show you the picture that I drew here, but there's the idea. I drew a light bulb, right? And then I drew a line down, okay, which is you. So the light bulb is here. So that's the all mind. Then there's a line, which is what we've just done. Then there's you. And then we go to the left. That's our belief. We go to the right. That's us living. And then we go down, we create it. Okay, because we know that we can't create shit in its fullness unless it's plugged into Gaia. We couldn't have done any of this. Like, if anybody's being hard on themselves, going, where's my project going to come online? Maybe you were like me saying I should give up and all this. We don't give up. We just weren't supported by Gaia. We know that as we're coming into land towards the end of the year, we're going to be fully plugging into our masculine, and then it's a done deal, man. So we don't give up at the ninth hour. We don't give up, right? So we make that connection. Okay, so this is all about plugging in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you into a short meditation, because I also have, it's like a prayer, and I will share these, what I've channeled and written here, but this is like a prayer. So the other day I actually pulled out some cards before I had the whole burning situation with Sekhmet. Osiris came in and I pulled a card, Osiris, Bast, Sekhmet. Then I pulled another card, Anubis and Osiris. And I was like, and then there was another card. And the one I pulled today was Hathor, which, as we know, is the other side of Sekhmet. So we definitely have shifted through something really big, because now the softer side is coming in. It's all about like love now, whereas before it was like all Sekhmet. And Osiris is very much in the mix as well. He wants us to live with everything that we're sharing now, these principles, and this remembering on how to use these principles is for the pureness of just life, abundance, love, food, family, joy. That's it. Because joy is success and success is joy. So I want you to close your eyes now, because as you close your eyes and you come into your space now, Osiris has been very much holding our back for us. And he's been very much in our space. And Thoth has been absolutely divine with his guidance and his patience, and Sekhmet coming in. So as fiery as she is, fire into form, divine. So now we've got fire into form. Form now brings resurrection. And resurrection is very much about being remembered, soul retrieving by the divine feminine, actually. Isis remembered her husband. Osiris now strides forward fiercely, may not be showing up like Sekhmet, but he fiercely, fiercely protects us. He loves us. He's very, very protective of us. And he knows our perils. He knows our lifetimes, every single one of them. And he knows what it's taken for you to get here today. And he knows that you never gave up, even when you wanted to. And he knows that you were taken out many times, but they didn't succeed. So if you have any doubt in who you are, in what you can create, and what you represent, well, you shouldn't. So Osiris now comes, as silent as he usually is. His presence is resounding. And he spoke through me the other day. This is his voice, but it's through my words. The divine masculine's embrace. And this is for the men as well. Because, even being a physical man, the divine masculine hasn't been able to take his place until she took hers. The divine masculine holds me now. I am willing and open. I have surrendered and fallen into the loving arms of Osiris. I rest my head on his chest as his arms and energy enfolds me, envelopes me, dissolving any residue of fears or mistrust of the masculine. My sacred architecture is renewed as my old structures crumble and fall away, and I let them. They have served me well. However, there is no longer need for these outdated structures. I release my grip, and I let it all fall away with love, grace, and acceptance. I trust in Osiris. I trust in me. My inner masculine thrives as he rebuilds that which he sustains, protects and serves my newest timeline and my renewed sacred version. The rebuild is underway. No longer do I micromanage. No longer do I control. No longer do I fear the thought of it all going wrong. I trust. Deeply. I trust my inner masculine. I am the living, breathing presence of the all mind. I am a sacred fragment and expression of this in living form. I know this now. And through this belief alone, I am welcomed into the Garden of Paradise. Osiris greets me, celebrates me, holds me, and inspires me to live. There is nothing more sacred than life. And I am that. I am. Take a nice big deep breath. Giving deepest thanks on this Thanksgiving day. Breathe out. Breathe in again, that breath of life. And exhale once more. And one more breath from the side of the banks of the Nile. Fertility, growth, rebirth. Inhale. And as you exhale, you are part of it all. In loving gratitude to Osiris. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Yo. So that has completed the pyramid of sorts, right? That was a bit of a round the world multiverse all mind journey, wasn't it? When people say, "What have you done this morning?" You're like, been everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. So, and this is a big class because, like I say, you guys like kept the energy up. Do you know what I mean? Because I was like trying to get it into an hour and a half, and I was like, not going to happen. So, thank you so much for your presence. Thank you so much for your energy. I love each and every one of you, and I love our vibe and our tribe so much. And I know I say it every single time. Each time I'm so happy, Caroline. I always forget to look at the words here. Thank you so much for receiving them because I can feel it double resonates with me because you get it. So it's always a co-creative group effort here. And I've come to know so many of you very, very well. And even the new people that come in, it's just instant tribe. And I just love it. And this is this 10 years ago, I started this channel, and this is why. This is why I call it my Batman sign in the sky, man. Nothing else except to find my tribe, So like Batman signals work. I don't care what you say. All right. We're all got superheroes in us, right? So I just want to thank you because this was absolutely brilliant. And Doroni, you're so welcome. And happy Thanksgiving to all of y'all out there. And have a beautiful day further. And like I say, this recording will be on YouTube, but I will give you a major heads up when it goes into the email so you know to look out for it, okay? So many, many blessings to all of you. Mwah. Thank you for riding with me. Peace out, yo. See you later, loves. Bye.